I remember a few years ago when like HBO Max and Disney Plus got announced, and people were like, oh, it's over for Netflix. Netflix is done. They got another one. I don't want to sound like an ignorant American because this show takes place in Britain, but they're over there eating something called a cheese and pickle sandwich. We are talking spoilers, by the way. Adolescence is a show that released on Netflix about a week or two ago, so I know I'm kinda late. Around the time that this show came out, this was like the only thing that I kept seeing on Twitter. Everybody was like, oh my god, this show called Adolescence. Adolescence, this is the greatest thing ever. So I took a mental note of it and I told myself that I would get to it at some point, but I got home and I saw that this was only 4 episodes long. So I watched it. Based on what I've seen from other reviews, depending on where you look, this is the greatest show ever. And I'm not gonna go that far, but it's pretty good. So if you're watching this review, you know that the show is about a 13-year-old boy named Jamie who is accused of murdering his classmate. This being a limited series, this is only 4 episodes long, and we pretty much get an episode from the perspective of the police officers, Jamie, and Jamie's family. So episode 1 starts, and we the viewer, we have no idea what's going on. We see some cops, they pull up to a random house, they bust the door down, they got the guns out, and all of this is for a 13-year-old suspect. So the way they break this show down, for episode 1, we pretty much get everyone together. We get the police officers, we get Jamie, we get Jamie's family. On episode 2, that episode focuses mainly on the police officers and their investigation as they go to Jamie's school and they're trying to get new leads. Episode 3 focuses mainly on Jamie. Episode 4 focuses on Jamie's family. With this being a limited series, this show isn't perfect by any means. I'm not going to compare it to Breaking Bad. It's not Sons of Anarchy, which is my favorite TV show. Adolescence is a short and sweet show that I feel like it would have been better served if they had more episodes to flesh out the story, especially with the way that this show is built and kind of being built around a production gimmick. And I'm not saying gimmick in a bad way, trust me, I'm going to talk about that more in a second, but just the way that this show was shot, it would be really hard to do a fully fleshed out season in that style. Episodes 1 and 2, I thought they were cool, but nothing special in my opinion. Like, they were interesting, they did keep me entertained, but it wasn't the greatest thing I've ever seen in the world. They were good episodes. Episode 2 was definitely my least favorite out of the 4, and it also made me feel old as hell hearing how the kids were talking about Instagram and emojis and how different color emojis mean different things. It kind of reminded me of George Lopez. It was an episode where the wife and the daughter had these bracelets and each color bracelet meant something different. If you know, you know. But when it comes to episodes 3 and 4, those were like top tier television in my opinion. Like, for me personally, episode 3 was my personal favorite, and I wanted to give a shout out to the young man that played Jamie. His name is Owen Cooper. It's not much about him on Google, but it says at this time that he's either 15 or 16 years old, and this is his first acting gig. Some people are just extremely talented. Like, I remember when I was his age, I was still nervous to talk to my parents' friends. Like, they'll be like, yo, Nick, come downstairs and say hello. I'll be scared to do that. This kid is starring on a Netflix TV show. His performance in episode 3 was chilling. When he's talking to the psychiatrist and just how quickly and smoothly he changes his facial expressions and tone, him mocking the woman for being scared of a 13-year-old and him begging for her to help him at the very end, and then that last shot where you see the psychiatrist in the room by herself and you just see all the emotions come over her. Incredible episode. And then when it comes to that last episode, to my knowledge, I don't have any kids, so to my knowledge, I'm not a parent, but that episode broke my heart. So it's Jamie's dad's birthday and somebody spray painted his van. Also, this is random, but I love the way they talk on this show. Like, the way they talk is hilarious. I had to watch this show with subtitles on because I couldn't understand them sometimes. But you fancy a brew, love? I don't know the last time I went to go see a picture. That's the movie theater for you non-cultured people. But somebody spray paints the van and the family takes a trip to the store. So this family has all this chaos going on in their lives and they're trying their best to pretend like everything's okay. Like, the parents, they're reminiscing on the first time that they met, talking about the school dance, they're singing songs together. They're trying their best to pretend like they're having fun, but all of that changes as soon as they get to the store. As soon as they get to the store, the mood of this episode completely flips. A worker recognizes the dad and he says that he's a supporter of his son. The dad catches the kids who tag the van outside and threatens them. It's a lot going on. So once they leave the store and the family gets back into the van, this episode goes up another level. So once they're in the car, the family gets a phone call from Jamie and Jamie drops a bombshell on the family. Jamie thinks he's only talking to his dad. He doesn't know that he's on speakerphone, but he tells his family that he's going to change his plea. He's going to plead guilty. the silence that fills that car. You could feel the heart of everyone in that car completely drop through the TV screen. So the family finally gets back home and we go upstairs and we get a conversation between the parents. The parents are in tears while they're having this conversation. The writing in this episode is excellent, but it's three parts of their conversation that really hits me. So at one point, the mom tells the dad, well, you do have a little bit of a temper problem. You do have a little bit of anger. And the dad stops and questions himself and says, did I give him that? And then a little bit later in the conversation, the mom is in tears and she's questioning herself and she has to remind herself, I am a good mom. You are a good dad. That really hit me. And then the dad says, well, my father made me. How did I make that? I was joking earlier, but on a serious note, I don't have kids, but I understand from a parent's perspective sometimes, you just don't know. Like as a parent, you can try to do everything right. You can try to put your kid in the best position. You can try to teach your kids right from wrong, but at the end of the day, that kid is gonna do what they're gonna do. Like for me, I feel like my parents raised me right. I feel like I had two great, wonderful parents, but at the end of the day, I was doing some things that I knew my parents would not be proud of. In the moment, I knew right then and there, I should not be doing this, but I still decided to do it anyway. I mean, granted, I didn't kill anybody, but as a parent, it's only so much you can do. Like, I genuinely do not understand everything surrounding incels. I don't understand red pill. I don't understand the manosphere or the maniverse or whatever it's called. Like, I think people like Andrew Tate and people on that side of the internet and people like that, I think all of those dudes are weird and complete losers. And to me, it's unfortunate and scary to think about the fact that it's a generation of young boys who are growing up and listening to that type of content. And I already know how the internet is. This isn't me pandering. This isn't me being woke. It's just crazy to me how it's some dudes out here who do not care about women. Like, they don't even look at women as humans. They don't look at women as equals. They legit look at women as objects. When I started watching this show, I was not expecting them to go to the route of like incels and like Andrew Tate and stuff like that. I think they even name drop Andrew Tate. I was not expecting that at all, but just please raise your son to respect and acknowledge women. It's unfortunate that a random dude on the internet even has to say common sense like that, but we just have so much evil in this world. But on a lighter note, because I don't want to be up here just preaching to you guys, the thing that I love the most about this show is the production, and I cannot finish this video without talking about that camera work. They shot 4-hour-long episodes in one take. Do y'all understand how hard that is to do? The actors need to remember their lines. They're driving different places, so the timing needs to be perfect on everything. The camera movement, the audio, the lighting, the choreography. It's so much that goes into it, especially at the end of episode 2 when the camera goes through the window during the chase at school, and then they attach the camera to a drone and fly off in one smooth take. I have a background in TV production, so I always try to give a shout out to production crews because I feel like they are so underappreciated. They are so disrespected, so I always try to give a shout out to them. And I just hope that they win some award. I don't know what for. I just hope they win some sort of award, because for them to pull this off on 4-hour-long episodes is an incredible achievement. I've talked about it before on this channel, but Netflix also has another show called Haunting of a Hill House, and they have one episode where they also mainly did it in one long take. And just in general, that's another great show, so check that out if you've never seen it. As of this recording, on Rotten Tomatoes, this currently has a critic score of 99% and a fan rating of 72%. I feel like I don't usually do scores when I review TV shows because it's kind of hard to rate because you have to go episode by episode. Like for this, if I had to review episodes 1 and 2, I would give that like a 7 because there were good episodes. But then for episodes 3 and 4, those are like 9s and 10s in my opinion, maybe even a 10 in my opinion. So it's not my official score, but overall, if I had to rate this show, I would give this like an 8. I think this was a great series. Acting across the board from everyone was a 10 out of 10, especially from the dad and the young man that played Jamie. Incredible performance. Writing in episodes 3 and 4, incredible. The camera work and production, amazing. And I just realized I did not tell y'all what I don't like. Even though I love and I applaud them for being able to do these incredible one long takes, it was some moments that it started to get a little annoying. Like, that's why I called it a gimmick earlier, because that was the main thing that I saw people talking about before I started watching this. But in some moments, it just felt like it dragged, because it's like, all right, let's walk over here. Now let's walk over here. Now let's walk over here. It got a little annoying to me. Another thing that I didn't like, even though it's not a big deal, and it's weird because this is both a praise and a criticism, because I understand why they did the show the way they did and they told a very specific story. I fully understand that. But with this being a limited series, I wanted more. Like, I wanted to see the actual victim. I wanted to see the victim's family. I wanted to see more of Jamie and everything that he is going through. I wanted to see what actually happened the night of the incident. Like, I don't know if they'll do a season 2 or a part 2. I don't know. I felt like that, especially in episode 2, because in episode 2, we get the investigation at the school. We get introduced to all these new characters. We get introduced to all these potential storylines, like maybe this happened, maybe this happened. And it seems like it kind of just went nowhere. I did see online that some people are debating if Jamie actually killed the girl or not. What? Like, you have some people who believe that the CCTV footage might not actually be Jamie. They say that they think it's his friend Ryan who was acting weird, because they say that him and Ryan has similar clothes on. They say him and Ryan are a similar build, that maybe it was Ryan. To me, it's clear as day that it was Jamie. He literally said in episode 3 that he killed her when he stumbled and he realized that he messed up when he was talking to the psychiatrist. He was like, damn, I can't believe I said that. I hope Jamie rots in jail, and then when he dies, I hope he burns in hell for all of eternity. But thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new here. We talk about a bunch of different things on this channel. What are your thoughts on this show? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite episode? And did Jamie kill her? It's kind of clear to me, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Love you guys. As always, remember to tell somebody that you love them. Until next time, see you in the next life.